our wastewater committee meeting, May 6th. Thing on there giving us the leak adjustments.
I'll refer to Angela. I think that's good.
That's good. They all have this.
I'll make a motion we approve those.
We got a motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay. April minutes for unapproved from there.
I didn't say anything wrong with that. I looked through them,
Still giving them.
I was here in spirit, I just stuck one out. Need a motion? I make a motion, we accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
You got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now we'll go to the financial report.
Yeah, nothing really stands out about the financial report. You can see, the water fund, the wastewater fund, our days in cash, everything looks pretty good as expected. There is not a ton of stuff to report. Water revenues were up a little bit, wastewater was down a little bit from the month before, but I can almost guarantee you'll expect to see April probably take a little bit of a skyrocket there. And then one interesting thing that I really wanted to point out is this capital purchases page that she's got in the financial report. And this is, not that one, sorry, this one. And I know it's super hard to read because it's all really small lines, but this is everything that we've got budgeted for, like especially under wastewater. You could see kind of like the open POs that we've got and how much we've spent on it and how much we will continue to spend on it. The yellow is the one that we've been invoicing for, like the service upgrade for lift station number 10, Jack Tyler Engineering. We haven't started that one yet, so it's not in yellow, so you can kind of track which ones we've started and which ones we haven't started, and how much we've spent on those invoices each month. So that's been a really helpful thing that I believe Crystal put it in play. That's been really helpful for all of us. Other than that, you'll still see a pretty high balance in the water at wastewater infrastructure fee fund. Joy handles that and moving it around for the debt to pay off, but like we always say, that will only go to pay off bonds and loans related to water and wastewater. So other than that, there wasn't anything that stood out mentioned.
I'll make a motion to accept the financial reports.
You have a motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? All right. Did you want to?
Yeah, there's no real presentation or PowerPoint tonight. Everything that I'm going to talk about is Saline Regional. We honestly can just roll it into the Saline Regional update, which is number 7. So we can probably just roll right through the presentation.
Anything on lift stations?
Lift stations was last month. If you guys had any questions about that presentation or anything, let us know. If not, no. Wastewater treatment plant. We are still working on finding a wastewater treatment plant manager. The plant is doing fairly well after all this rain that we had in April. That was quite a feat. But Ted has done a really good job of being interim down there, and all the operators have really stepped up and helped out. So pretty cool to see those guys step up and step into leadership roles that they weren't expecting to step into. So
Good.
yeah, they've all been doing a really good job.
Okay.
Tim told us I think it was Tim that told us last month that they had several people in mind for the position. Did they just not pan out, or have they not?
I know that Tim's been having interviews.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's had some interviews this week. I have no idea on where he is. I'm picking one. I know that he's been definitely active or trying to find one. So it's a hard position to fill for sure. So yeah.
Okay. Any public comments? All right, I don't see anything under old business or new business. So let's go to number 7.
Okay, so Saline Regional, as many of you guys know what it is, we give an update on it every month, but I wanted to fill you guys in on kind of where we're at. I don't know if last month we talked about the project being fully funded last month. So Since then, we have had to pause all surveying on this project because what happened was, people were getting their land surveyed by the engineers that are surveying, and they weren't being notified that their land was going to be surveyed. So when they walked outside and saw people on their property, there was obviously a lot of confusion on why they were there, what they were doing there. There wasn't a ton of communication on the front end, and that's completely, the board's fault, the engineer's fault. We take that on the chin. Since then, we've tried to really work on communication. We had a large public outcry that showed up to our 2 meetings ago, and then we had a special meeting that people showed up and shared their concerns again. And we expect them, the next meeting it's a special meeting on Thursday, and we expect more people to show up then. They're not necessarily frustrated with the project itself, they're just really frustrated with the lack of communication, which is really sad to me because this project is so special and so cool, and there's so many exciting aspects of it that we could really capitalize on sharing with the public and utilizing their help, because we need their help. So we're kind of taking a step back now. Chris has paused on the surveying. We've come up with kind of a communication plan moving forward that hopefully the board's going to adopt. I'm going to be bringing a Saline Regional official mission statement to the board and asking them to adopt it as Saline Regional's official mission statement. I think sometimes we can kind of get lost in all of the different cities' wants and needs of this project. Some people want to be away from certain other water providers. Some people want their own independence. Some people really just want to collaborate. Some people want to get off groundwater. So there's so many different wants, but I think we really need to refocus on why we even started this project to begin with, what the core of it is, and what our goals are. So I'm going to ask them to adopt one specific mission statement and kind of hopefully get us back on track. As far as communication-wise, we're going to kind of back up from the website that we've got already and have a more interactive route map. So Matt, our engineer, is going to pick the route that best serves us and then, kind of give us justification. The board's going to have to decide which route we want to go on. Once we've decided that route, before they survey that route, I drafted a letter that the board approved to send out for surveying that just lets people know we're simply gathering information. We'll personally reach out to you if we need an easement. We're just out there, walking the property. We'll be respectful, things like that. So we're going to be mailing these out to everyone that we're expecting to survey their property. We've already sent a few out to notify people. The week after, all of Matt's survey people that are out in the field are going to have a copy of this letter that they're able to give to the people that have questions, leave them in mailboxes, and just go up and knock on the door and try and hand them a copy of the letter and tell them what you're doing here. And then hopefully people will go to our website, and we'll have a much better website that's going to house, like I said, the route map. It's going to house more contact information. It's going to house the meeting minutes, the meeting agendas, where they can come to these public meetings, who they can get in touch with if they want to be more involved in the project, and just kind of, again, what the project is and what it would mean for Saline County and beyond, water security in general. We're also going to attach the 2002 study that started all of this, which was the Tale of Two Cities. And that study was done by UALR at, Lanny Fight's leadership and a ton of other representatives. Like I said, there was a ton of people involved in that study, and that was what really highlighted the need for Saline County to find another water source that is more secure and more sustainable for Saline County. So we're going to put that on there because a lot of people are asking, why the project, why now, why, and they're all completely valid questions. So the more that we can answer the questions, the more that we can take a step back and communicate with the people, and the more that we continue to understand why this project needs to happen and not for our own city's selfish, purposes or wants, the better off we're going to be. So after we send those survey letters out, after our surveyors are prepared to talk to people, they're going to survey that route, they're going to decide, they're going to prepare their easement exhibits of what we need to ask for easements, and then I drafted another letter that we've actually already been using and have had a lot of luck with. If you remember, we have the easements we have the desired easement route from the intake to the reservoir. So what we're working on now is from the reservoir to the treatment plant, which is a lot of Saline County. So notifying our Saline County, they're going to be benefiting from this project. They probably need to be aware of what it is. the Hot Spring County easements that we've been trying to get, that we sent this letter out to people with the easement exhibit. It kind of details what an easement is, what we need from them, and who they can reach out to. We've had awesome feedback from this. I mean, I got like 4 of them in the mail, and we didn't even have any communication with them. They just trusted it and knew what it was enough to just give us an easement, which was pretty cool. We sent them a check for the easement. And then everyone else that we've talked to has been really supportive of the project, and we had a lot better turnout from these letters than I think any of us thought that we would. So it's proof that this works. We just need to communicate with the people. So once we got the survey done and the easements decided, we'll send this letter out again, and then we'll have a second communication with them. That all sounds like a lot of work, and we're all a volunteer board, and we all have other jobs. So instead of Mariah taking that on, or Jason taking that on, or any one board member taking it on, we have put out an RFQ for easement acquisition firms that would come on board and start trying to acquire those easements once they're in place. Probably mid-June, we'll be looking at hiring one. It's worth spending the money on. A project like this, you gotta do it right or don't do it. So we said we would hire a firm if it ever got to be too much, and it's too much for just one person or 2 people or 3 people. So we're gonna be looking at hiring a firm. We're also exploring, I've got a request for a proposal out to a organization. It's a nonprofit that all they do is go and help rural cities or just cities that are a little bit bigger communicate with their customer bases about rate increases or rural places that need to do capital projects and they have never done one before, and so they're communicating with the public on how. They don't have a communications team. They think different things like that. They come in and kind of give advice, and then they'll like revamp your website. They do all the different things that, you know, communications people are supposed to do, but they're always geared toward water, which helps a lot. Instead of just the across-the-board communications, they actually know the industry, and they know, you know, kind of the ins and outs and all the different laws and legislations and stuff that go in to all the different stuff. So we're getting a proposal from them that I'm going to try and present to the board and see if they would be willing to take on or hire a communication firm, because again, a project of this size, if we're not communicating it well and it fails because of communication, that's a really hard pill to swallow. So we really need to make sure that we're doing the best we can and doing our due diligence, and it's just too big for one person to handle, one city to handle. Just don't have the time and resources. So that's what these people do, and they're really good at it. So that's another proposal that I'll hopefully be bringing to the board, probably not this Thursday, but after that. So that's kind of our plan moving forward. Revamp the website. I know that was a lot. Do you guys have any questions? People are in an uproar, but it seems to be not necessarily about the project. It's a little bit more about the lack of communication and what feels like the lack of transparency, because it's so difficult for them to find meeting agendas, meeting minutes, things like that, which will be much more accessible in the near future.
Sounds like you got a good handle on it.
We're trying to. Any questions for anyone?
Most of the complaints were in Saline County, or? Okay.
All Saline County, actually. There wasn't any in Hot Spring County.
This easement, is it like farmland, or is it like through people's front yards? I don't know how it's.
Well, I mean, we don't have a route decided yet, so
Right.
all of it was preliminary, but a lot of it is, quite a bit of it's farm, yeah. And the people's in front yards that it's going through or was looked at going through, obviously wasn't the decided. I mean, it would move. We're not going to go through someone's front yard, so especially with a water line, it's just important that right now we're just making sure that we're taking a step back, doing the due diligence and exploring all other routes and feasible options, and then the board's going to adopt an actual and vote on an actual route to move forward with. And I mean, we're going to have to acquire easements. The project needs to move forward. It just is about doing it the right way. So. Next meeting's Thursday. You guys would like to come. It's super fun.
Is it going to be 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock, yeah. 5 o'clock here.
It's here.
Yep.
Oh, not at the fire station, but here.
No, it's here. Yeah, we've moved them to here, just for a little bit more of an official, and we've been recording them and uploading them and stuff, so.
Is that
Haven't
going
been
to
uploading them yet, but we will be, huh?
be a permanent move or
As of right now, it's a permanent move,
Okay.
but that could change, I mean, based on the mayor's let us use this, but, I mean, it could change, yeah.
Right.
questions, that was kind of my presentation. I don't have a bunch on it, but wanted to give you guys a good update on what's going on, because there's a lot going on with it, so.
Okay.
And we have a meeting with the national, or the Arkansas, myself and Matt Dunn have a meeting with the Arkansas Natural Heritage Commission tomorrow. We're supposed to be going through a pretty big portion of their land to get an easement. So that will tell a lot about the route. If they seem really willing to work with us. We're meeting with the director tomorrow. She's been awesome to work with so far. That will be a big tell on if we can go a certain route or we have to change completely to get away from their land. It's a big portion of land, so we'll see kind of what the rules are. I'm not really sure.
Okay. Next item is Highway 5 relocation.
I don't have any updates on that from the last time. That's more of a Tim one, and he couldn't be here tonight, so.
Okay. What about South Plains?
South Plain, we are still working on getting that property. Once we get the property, we'll, the deals are all in place and everything, just waiting on final paperwork of it. So once we get the land, they'll start working a little bit more heavily on it. They did get airport clearance, or FFA clearance, for the tank and the specs and stuff, so. The height of it and everything, so that was a good step that they signed off on.
Lift Station 5 update.
Not a ton to report. We did not meet this week. We're meeting next week, or not, yeah, next Monday with Hawkins Weir, just because they had some things that they wanted to finish up on the survey portion of everything before they met with us to give us an update. So not a ton from the last time. I think they got all their surveying done, their plans. We're really happy with the way that that's moving forward. They're very, very transparent and very in touch with us. So they give us updates on just about everything they do. So, yeah.
Leah Circle.
Leah Circle is supposed to start May 9th. They moved the date with the rain. They could move that again. But as of right now, May 9th is supposed to start. Everything else is going well. I mean, like the plans are approved. That project is just waiting on construction, so.
Okay. It looks like the last thing is the Spring Hill update.
Yep, Spring Hill, we are just still collecting easements. Everyone's been really good to deal with. Same kind of thing. Trying to get easements and keep going. So no changes in the plan. That plan's still in place. We've still got the approvals we need. We've still got the funding in place. Not exactly sure on the funding rate yet. But we've got funding available from the federal funds that we've been using through the revolving fund, so. Yep, they're still on board.
Anything else we need to discuss?
We don't really have anything. We're plugging away. We have started ordering vehicles and equipment, just so you guys know. So that's quite a bit of, from the water and wastewater, from that bond that we're taking out. We have started to order all of our equipment and vehicles for water and wastewater. So they've been super excited to get what they need.
I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Your motion? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Good idea.